Hey y'all, this is James, and usually Lewis is here, and this is our podcast NAAP, and we are two friends who love to talk about all things anime, the good, gross, and goofy. We also sometimes get serious and speak on heavier life topics. Now today, we have my brother Jamal with us. Say what up, Maul.
What up?
Yeah, Lewis is not able to make it today, but we're still going to have a good conversation. And so we're going to get right into it. So my brother came up with a hot take.
Or is the black community overdoing converting anime characters into black anime characters? Are we just doing that too much? Is it oversaturated now? Or is it still cool to do it?
Yeah, because back in the day, we always drew Goku with some braids or dreads or something.
Yes. Yeah.
Super Saiyan and all that. I remember that.
Afros.
Mm-hmm.
Afros.
And that was cool back then when we were in middle school and all that.
Yes. I can't lie though. For me personally, I'm getting annoyed by it now. I feel like everybody's doing it too much now. And I personally got some. I also do got some conversion black, some animes characters who are turned black now. Saw a couple artists. I love it, but I just think that every character, we don't need a black version of every character. I just say that. It does get annoying. We have too many black creators now that are coming with their own stuff, and it's like it's time for us to support them now. That's my hot take on it. It's annoying, a little bit annoying.
Yeah, I understand that too. I don't really care either way because I don't see it that often like you do. But you know, I'm not in the art community like you, so.
Yeah, I love art. That's my thing. I mean, I love it.
Yeah, and there are a lot of people who are making their own characters, and we should definitely check them out.
Now, another hot take. I don't know if you put this in the video or not, but should white people have a say if black people can turn Asian characters black? What do you think about that? Do you think they should be concerned about that?
Nope, they can be annoyed though. We can't dictate them for being annoyed, but they don't really have no say. They can say whatever they want, but they can't dictate it.
True. That's up to the Asian community to tell us to stop.
Specifically the Japanese, who are the ones who have been pioneering anime.
Yes. That's what I said. Like, wait a minute. No, you can't tell us. Like, we guys gotta stop. Like, wait a minute. You can't tell us that. But I think what's happening is that why some our Caucasian brethren like this much feel like they have a say is because Asians' skin complexions are light and fair. You know what I'm saying? So they might get the sense of these are white characters, and also a lot of characters who are dark skinned in anime are really just tanned Asian folk. So they're really not even black, but we see them as black. But it's like, nah, when they draw black people, they draw them with lips.
Yeah, we know that they're like black.
Yep.
For real. The thing that I have noticed though, Maul, from a video that was on TikTok was showing how the characters that they're drawing are not really white people, because you know how the anime characters, they don't really have those like faces of an Asian person. They look a little different, and so a lot of white people are like, oh yeah, that's representing us and all that. But really what it is the majority of Asian characters, that stereotypical, that trope of of a anime character, is based off of a cat.
Off a cat?
Off of a cat.
That's wild.
So the thought behind it was that that everybody loves cats and that they're cute and adorable. Everybody loves how they look.
That's why they got those big eyes?
Yeah, so everybody is like Nico. Like if you see the eyes and stuff, that's like, because you know cats have big eyes at times. And then the facial structure, that's of like the cat facial structure. So they had like somebody draw a cat, and then they had erase the cat features, and then put in the typical Asian eyes and all that. It was like, wow, that's crazy. The little tiny nose and all that.
That's crazy.
Yeah. It was like, it's really just a cat. I was like, wow. Interesting. The more you know.
It is, yeah. I just saw, I'm always online. I saw somebody said, posted a post on Facebook talking about if One Piece was made in the 90s.
But it was made in the 90s.
Yeah, it was. Everybody was like, wait a minute, what are you talking about? Like, it was made in the 90s. The more you know, one thing I get annoyed about is about a lot of things. They say a certain style. They say this is anime style, but in reality, there's anime is a certain style, but at the same time, there's different artists in anime that has their own type of look.
Yep.
And they had like a cowboy bebop-ish look, and you know that more saturated. I was like, yeah, but that's not Oda style. You know, Oda came in the 90s. He had his own little kind of style, but I see what you're trying to do. But it was like, yeah, but that's not it. What?
So that video is trying to say that if One Piece was made in the 90s, it would look like Cowboy Bebop.
Kind of, yep.
Because what else looked like Cowboy Bebop around that time?
Gundam had they had like that saturated look. Gundam had it in like more sharper corners. Because One Piece doesn't have a lot of sharp corners. They have a little bit more roundness to it.
Yeah.
But that serious tone, more, I would say, lean toward realistic-ish.
A little more dark filter around it.
Yeah. Yep. That's how it comes. I was like, y'all some idiots. Like, how about you go look up, like I get a lot of people jumping on the bandwagon of anime right now, but it's just like a lot of stuff I see posted, like, I have no clue what you're talking about. I just out here just. Then I saw another thing that was like, what's that TV show that we watch? I mean, you don't watch that, but everybody's on right now. Dun.
Yep.
Dan. I gotta say it right. What is it?
Dan.
Yeah, Dan, right? Dun. It was a masterpiece, and I was like, and it just had the horses that that horse that like represents masterpiece. Like, so the part starts off really well, then it has like a little another part of the horse might be like just black and white scale, another one be like a little kindergarten drawing. It's just to let you know what like the horse looks like. Oh, you're not on. Okay, well, anywho, I was like to them, yo, it is not a masterpiece because it has not been finished yet. You gotta wait until something is finished and call it a masterpiece. Like, it's just the beginning. Like, it's just the beginning, y'all. Like, I'm starting to hate the anime community. Oh, sorry guys, I don't really hate it. I'm in here. I've been in for a while. You know what I'm saying? But I just think that it's just that people are thinking that, I mean, anime is cool, but it's not cool when people coming in not knowing what they're talking about or doing. I'm the gatekeeper. Yes, I am, nigga.
Yeah, I haven't watched Dan. I only saw the episode that you were watching when I was over your place, and it didn't look bad, but like you said, the first arc probably is not even finished, huh?
The first arc is finished. It kind of ends up pretty fast as them fighting the Granny get the power, and then the second arc comes the biggest fight. They have a pretty. The first arc hasn't finished yet. It hasn't finished yet. They all said season 2, but the arc hasn't finished yet. If I'm going based off the manga, the arc is not finished. Like, there's a bigger bad that they got to fight, but they're just going through. Right now, it's setting up the power structure, trying to get all the people with their powers. So the arc is not finished.
Yep.
That's why you should read the manga. Like,
yeah, that was your other hot take, but you saving that for another day, so we won't mention that. Yeah. All right. So today, that was the hot takes. I didn't have much to say about those because I don't really have strong opinions about either of those subjects because I have no care for them. Because people who are new in anime, I don't really like. I don't think they have paid their dues yet enough to be saying a lot, except if they like a show or not. That's it.
Yeah, I feel that.
Their opinion is valid if they like a show or not. But when they try to talk about overall of anime, like you haven't been into that deep yet.
Right? You don't know when One Piece was made.
Yeah, they probably think that the One Piece is just the friends you made along the way. Alright, so now we're gonna get into the anime of the week, which was it was a little hard, Maul, to watch. For the first couple, I was only able to like really watch one episode at a time until I saw how close it got into our recording date. Then I was like, I'm gonna have to binge it. But it was tough.
That's why Louis should have been here, because this is what he says, one of his top 5, top 10 anime.
And
he should have been here because I gotta like verbally smack him with some words. Like, he ducked out this one. He ducked out from this one. Like, nah, man.
Yeah, this is a because the main character who drives the plot wasn't really driving the plot.
He was not.
So I can't even say that he was a protagonist, because it was almost like it was forced for him to drag the plot, because the story could have moved along without him there.
Yes. Matter of fact, honestly, there's times I got lost in the story. Like, what the hell am I? What's the purpose of this now? And actually, the big reveal of what the purpose wasn't even a great reveal. It was lackluster. Like, the fuck? Like, like, wait a minute.
Yeah, and so for everybody who's listening, the anime of the week we're talking about is called Neon Genesis Evangelion. I know that's a big one in the anime culture, especially for those who've been in anime game for a very long time. You know, the older Gen Z and millennials, they know this one. This is nostalgia. I think this is one of those animes where it's nostalgia is keeping it as being a very popular and loved anime.
It has to be. It's one of these.
Go ahead and say it, Maul. You already started. Go ahead and say it.
Hey, man, I already respect the community. I do. But y'all delusional. DBZ is just nostalgia, man. Like, that's all it's running on. It's running on fumes. Like, it paved the way for a lot of different animes, but it's just nostalgia. Like, it's no point. There's no point of. Alright, let's keep moving on. Let's not get on that. I want people to watch your show. I want people to listen to your podcast. You know? I want to...
No, but yeah, though, for those who are unfamiliar with Neon Genesis, so that show is about these. It's in a world where it's like dystopia type, post-dystopia, where Japan or the entire world actually was attacked. So Antarctica was basically blown up by a unidentified attack by these things called angels. They didn't really give out the details of exactly what this angel looked like or where it came from or anything. It just said that it blew a crater. It was the first impact, and it took the entire world, basically raised the sea levels and flooded the world, basically, and killed a bunch of people. Like, I think it was more than half of the world's population was killed. And so the 15 years later, after that first impact, it takes place around a boy who becomes this pilot of these things called Evas to battle these angels. And for some reason, the pilots have to be 14 years old. They didn't really explain why that is. They just said that it has to be 14-year-olds to pilot these things. These Evas to battle against the angels. And each angel, there's no uniformity to them. They all look different. They all have different attributes and abilities, which makes it hard for them to come up with a plan before an attack happens. And every time an angel shows up, it's always out of nowhere. And so they have to formulate a plan of how to deal with it right then and there. And we see the main character gets defeated a lot.
He gets his ass handed to him all the time.
Yes. Honestly,
no combat training whatsoever.
Plot armor was thick in this one.
He had no combat training.
None.
And daddy issues. Heavy on the daddy issues.
So, the main character is Ikari Shinji. That's his name. And his dad was basically the commander of this group that built the Evas. And they were always constantly this organization. I don't remember the name of the organization, but I just remember that they were constantly in the struggle for what the UN and other political things, organizations. I think one was called SEAL. But anyways, they always had to try to raise funds and get them to give the money for their operations and all that. And the people like the UN and all that, they always had a problem with them having all that power to fight the Evas, and they wanted to basically be in control of the Evas, and they didn't want that one person to have that much power.
Yeah, hey James, last night, right? I had an idea. Jumping clearly into the end. Is it okay if I jump to the end real quick, a little bit?
Go ahead.
Okay. So they have a doll, right? A real life, like she can walk and talk without a soul. And I was thinking to myself, like that could solve all their money problems right there. Just age her up a bit, sell them. They would have all that money. They would have solved all their money problems right there. To take, like, get her over to the 21-year-old age. Because I was like, how did they age her? Like, that was the point. So I was like, I got all these dolls and parts. Y'all might as well. It's real. So I was just like, hey, y'all, that's a money market right there. You know what I'm saying?
They weren't. They didn't believe in the human trafficking in that way. They believed in the throwing bodies at these problems. If they die, they die. That's what they believed in.
Like, well, that's like money problems right there, all gone. Like, hey, has no soul, but it's like, shoot.
They weren't hurting on the money though, because they got it. They got the funding.
That's true. That's true.
It was just the people were just being grudgingly about it.
You better not mess this up.
And so I'll mention the pilot Shinji, the son of the commander, and then there were the other pilots too. There were 4 more pilots, but they only really showed 2 more. Ayanami Rei. She was the very first to be a pilot. And then Asuka Soryu. It's a long name, but I just shortened it. But Asuka, and she's the one that I knew because of. No, there's characters that are all famous on anime, but there's some character you just always see a picture of. You just don't know where it's from if you never saw the show. And she's one of them for me. I never seen Neon Genesis until now, but I always saw her.
That's what I've seen too, and honestly, I understand why we see her a lot because she really helped push the story along. Like made the show kind of because it was dull until she came in and actually started making it interesting.
Yeah, but she annoyed me though. I didn't like her. Yeah. I didn't like her at all.
I like her ambition, but I didn't like how it kind of got in her way. Like it got too much in the way a little bit. But she had personality. Like both Shinji and Rei did not have any personality.
Mm-hmm.
So when Asuka came in, she brought the story because
she was obnoxious to me. But go ahead, you right.
I know Misato. What's her name? Shinji's caretaker. What's her name?
Misato,
right? Misato had character too, and I liked her, but we didn't really see her like as much as we saw the fighters. Because she was kind of like always in the background, and then she always had more stuff to go. Her character was a little bit more complex, but she wasn't the main character, and so she was kind of like taking a back seat. So her storyline was cool, but like it was such a sit down boring show that when I needed an over obnoxious woman, she's not a woman, little girl come through that actually pushed, grabbed my attention. Because the rest of it was just like it wasn't because Misto, I can't mispronounce her name, Mystique, whatever.
Misato.
Misato. I can't pronounce any Japanese names.
Maybe you can pronounce the longer version. Her first name, Katsuragi.
No, Misato, right? Misato. She had characters. Her character was good, but it's just that she wasn't always in that bubbly state. So she always had to go to a serious tone, and so now the show is, and now everything is so serious, and then you get to the main character who's such a crybaby and whiny boy that is just like, yo, I can't get through this. Like, I want you to get to like this. Then you have Asuka come through, and she's all like, I'm ready to do this. Let me throw me at the angel. Let's do this. Let me show you what I can do. Yeah, I mean, I think she should have died earlier because how ambitious she was, and she didn't have that much fighting experience. But still,
no, she had more training than everybody else.
She did.
She had more training. She was training back in Germany, so she had it all. She was like one of those who the program was actually training them. I didn't understand that too. I'll get to that point later of how not understanding how they're all supposed to be pilots, but they're not getting trained.
They didn't explain that whatsoever. How they picked them out from all the other ones. And
it was bad. But anyways, to Masato though, The reason why she wasn't cherry all the time and bubbly, that was part of her character, of her putting on a front that she's like that. A bubbly person with full personality and all that. That was a mask. That really wasn't her.
Okay.
Yeah, they mentioned that multiple times, a couple of times. Her real self was that she just disliked herself because of she felt she had to do that.
That makes sense. That kind of drops into the end of the show, which was very hard to get through. While trying to find themselves. That go cap. I don't know what the hell they were talking about then. I zoned out completely.
I know what they were talking about. I understand. We'll get back to that later though, because I want to break down these characters, because this is a heavily character-driven show, because the action was not climactic at all.
It was so terrible.
Yeah. So this was not like one of those you want to watch it for the action. It's not one of those shows. This is a character-driven show. Dialogue. You don't even want
to watch it for the plot, really, because the plot was so anticlimactic. We got to what's the reason why this all happened.
So the main focus, already said, was the pilots, who were called children, first children or something like that. So there's first children, second children, third children, fourth children, fifth children, which that's how it was said in Japanese, even though each of those was just one person, even though they said children, like there was multiple.
Right?
First children, that was Rei. Second children was Asuka, I don't know why. Third children was Shinji. And then fourth children, they had to choose in the middle of the show, towards the middle of the show. That's one of the classmates of them. And then there was the fifth children, which turned out to be an angel, the last angel at that. He was introduced in one episode. Second episode, he gone.
It was so, like, again, anticlimactic. Like, he did nothing
at all.
There was another certain being that I thought was really cool. I wanted to flesh it out more. The little thing in the basement.
Adam.
Is that Adam?
That was Adam. But then the last angel called it Lilith.
Bro, all I'm saying is that I want to lean more into that and figure out what's that thing's about. What's the real connection to the angels and all that, and how that was gonna come, and like why they want to take it from them. You know, like what was the plan of it all? I didn't get that answer. I just got.
They gave They gave the answer at the end.
Maybe I wasn't listening, because I was definitely zoned out by that.
Yeah, it was. Actually, they didn't really explain. They explained it a little bit, but not fully. It wasn't fully fleshed out to where everybody could be like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, I didn't have an okay moment. I was just like.
Yeah, okay, but so those were the main ones to follow, and then their support characters was the doctor. She was in charge of their AI system that her mother created. That was Akagi. Ritsuko Akagi, the blonde-haired girl. Then the dad of the main character was Gendo, Ikari Gendo. I put a note said worst dad of anime tier list placeholder. He was not a good dad.
He had no reason to abandon that boy. He had no reason. He literally could have stayed he could have stayed at the same company. Crazy.
Exactly. He could have taken care of him, but they said that Shinji was the one who ran away, but still, when he needed him, he got him to where he needed to be.
Right?
So he could have did a lot earlier. Exactly.
So you let a 5-year-old get away from you? Like, what? At a funeral, he ran, you let him go?
Yeah, he was a player too. Did you catch how he had slept with the doctor and her mom?
Yep.
I was like, yo.
Hey, I caught that. I'm like, he beat every generation's cheeks, ain't he? He's out here generational beat cheeks.
I thought that Kaji dude was bad. I didn't even put him on the list, but he was a big part of the show for Masato's character arc, anyways.
The way he went out too was kind of like it was speculated that Masato did a man, but it still was kind of like, yo, what, like, did she do this?
Yeah, like I didn't know who it was too. He was like, oh, you're late. Then all of a sudden he just showed him on the ground with guns.
Yeah, so I was wondering if it was Masato or like what, like who did it to him, like you know. And that was another one that kind of hurt me too, like that mystery, like okay, like
you didn't have to do that.
They didn't have to do it, but at the same time though, it maybe it kind of got me interested, like who killed him, because like the rest of the show was not interesting. So like, I was like, hey, who killed him? Like, wait, what's going on here? build on that. Yeah.
Right. So my favorite character though, had to be Misato though.
Why is that?
It's because of there was a more fleshed out of her, seeing her motivations and all that, because she was part of the last surviving people from that second impact, or whatever that was in Arctic, the second impact, and she saw her dad sacrifice his life to save her, when the whole time she thought that her dad neglected them and didn't love him at all. So she hated him because he chose his work over her and her mom, and saw her mom cry all the time. But saw at the very end, he sacrificed his life to protect her. She was like, oh, he did love me.
Now that you mentioned it, she actually was the only one who had a more fleshed out background. She's a background character.
Yeah.
She did have, what?
And she talked about how she joined the company because she felt that she thought that she wanted to get back at the Angels for killing the dad, but also she was probably just getting revenge for the dad as well for not being there for her.
Yep.
And also the reason why she has a connection to Kaji was because he reminded her of her dad.
Which was like, I ain't gonna lie, that was kind of weird. That was
yeah,
weird.
She said that she broke up with him because she came to that realization.
Yeah, I know, but she still said you still remind me of my dad. Like, she still had that same determination. And she still slept with the man.
Mm-hmm. And that was answered at the end too, when she was saying that maybe I slept with him because everybody saw me as, I felt like I had to be this good girl and give like no problems, like just be a good girl, like don't give any problems to mom, because she's already lonely and feeling so there's already the burden on her because her dad's gone all the time. So don't be any problem, just be a good girl. So she felt that pressure, and then everybody saw her as a good girl. She's like, I just wanted to feel dirty then. I wanted to get as dirty as possible.
So you sleep with your dad?
Yep, sleep with this man. Reminds me of my dad.
That's wild.
I want to be filthy.
Like, I understand a little bit of somebody reminds you of your parent, like what you did, like it reminds me of him. But it seemed like she was like, nah, you're like too much. Everything about you got to remind me of my father. Alright. But hey, it's not really weird. Let me take that back. I'll take that back. Because people say that the first person, some people say the first person you might fall in love with is your father or your mother. Mm-hmm. And so sometimes they find somebody like that, like similar, but like from A to Z, kind of like your dad. Mm-hmm. You know, it's not your dad, so it's not your dad. So.
Yeah, that's why I like her though. She was really cool and just so funny, because she just be so relaxed and just she be doing some stuff like she's like, no, move away and stuff like that, embarrassing him and stuff.
The funny thing is when Shinji first went to her place, opened up the refrigerator, saw nothing but beer. That was kind of hilarious to me. Yeah. Like saw nothing, no food, just beer. She's like, let's eat. Like, eat what?
And then she couldn't cook. Like, Shinji had to do all the cooking. She wasn't cleaning. Her place was a mess. And then Shinji would see how his classmates will fawn over her, like, oh, I wish I had a girl like her. And Shinji was like, no, you don't. You don't know how dirty she is.
Like, she is disgusting. The penguin was actually more interesting than Shinji. I ain't gonna lie.
That penguin was weird. I was like, how is this penguin surviving?
Bro, alright, what's the next topic? Like, before I get to the next thing.
Oh, we're still going over the characters. There's Ray. She was just very quiet and a loner, and just felt like she was lost. A clone with zero personality.
Yes. Just
bland. Was like, I'll be your friend if I'm ordered to. No opinion whatsoever of her own.
Only thing she had. She actually made somebody feel so bad that they committed suicide.
I don't remember that part.
It was the scientist's mother. She told her she was like,
no,
a useless woman.
No, that scientist's mom did not commit suicide.
Oh,
she was killed.
Oh, I thought she committed suicide. That's why she went away.
Nah, she killed that Ray. That Ray did die. You didn't see when the arms went limp? That had signaled that she died. She choked her to death.
Yeah, I know, but I thought that since she killed Ray, she committed suicide.
I didn't get that at all. I got that it was a mystery of what happened to her.
Oh, I thought what happened was that. So my sense I got was that after she killed Ray, She's like, what have I done? And like, like, oh my goodness. And she went off and like committed suicide because she wanted a man. She can't have a man. Her daughter's already grown and it's working out. So she wants this man. The man is like, it's called her useless and annoying and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So she's like, her heart is broken. And then she killed a child that she just kind of went overboard. Like, all right, she could disappear. I don't know where she went, but I thought she committed suicide.
No, they showed her body and there was blood. Not in a suicidal place neither.
Oh, okay.
If I remember correctly. I just watched it yesterday. No, on Thursday. I just watched it on Thursday.
This is fresh in your head. Because this is like, I watched it as soon as you told me we about to be talking about it. I watched it watched it in a week. I was trying to get it over in literally in 3 days. Actually, I think it took me about more than a week because I had to slow it down. All right, let me get something else in here. Louis! Should have been here, man. You gotta defend this, man. You gotta defend your show, bro.
Yeah. Now let's get to this main character this first, because I'm done with Ray. She was just quiet all the time, and the funny thing about her was the very first episode when they was like, Shinji was like, I refuse, I'm not getting in that, and they was like, okay, get Ray suited up, and she was hurt, no arm, like her arm was broken, the eye patch around, she was like, okay.
Yep, I'll hop in there. Hey, yo, did we do Ahsoka yet first?
Ahsoka? Oh, we didn't do yet. What do you think? You said that was your favorite character.
Yeah, she was. Her. She was definitely both energetic. When you first hit the scene, she energetic. She was trying to seduce adults, so that was kind of weird, but but she still was very energetic, and she had a lot of insecurity, but she tried to mask it with I'm the person everybody wants. Her backstory was definitely sad, and I liked it, and I kind of understood what's happening. Like she's like, oh, I gotta do better, so no one will leave me. If I'm the greatest, no one's gonna leave me. You know what I'm saying? I could get through this. Just don't leave me.
Yeah.
I felt her sad. Like she was definitely my favorite character. I can see how she could become annoying though. She really could. But reason why she's my favorite character is because, like I said at the beginning, is when she came into the picture, she made the show 5 times. I'm not gonna say 10 times better. 5 times better, right? And got me engaged in it. Like I said, Soda. I can't sound. Soda. Masata.
To.
Misoto. She cut my interest too, but I feel like I didn't get to see I like to see that boldness, but she wasn't she wasn't that interesting to me, you know what I'm saying, a lot. And and then what happened was when Ahsoka came in, she started to bump more heads with the MC. So when she kept bumping the head with the MC, it was like she was kind of pushing him to do better and be better. And we saw a little bit more of a row out of him. Like Soda kind of get that out of Shinji sometimes too, but not as much as Ahsoka did. Ahsoka, whatever it is.
Ahsoka.
As she got more around on the main character and made the main character activate, become more alive and more let me do my best as I can. You are not gonna outshine me. So that's the reason why I liked her. So I was like, oh, she made the show a little bit. But then again, there's so much more serious tone that kept coming in the show. The serious tone that didn't the serious tone slowed the show down when the show needed to move on because they weren't really giving us a lot. So it's like he's slowing it down just not to give us a lot. It's annoying.
Yep, I get that. Yeah, I didn't like Ahsoka because she was too flirty, like you said, attention seeker. Like she wanted too much attention, and that it wasn't like she was so obnoxious that I was happy that she had that downfall. That made her even more annoying to me.
that downfall moment, that's why they kind of I did not like her a little bit. I was like come on, dude, come on.
You had that much pride that usually characters with that much pride, when they have that setback, they're only down for a couple episodes and then they get back up.
That's what I'm saying. This is the reason why it kind of pissed me off, is because all of them was going through something around the same time, and I'm just like, the world is at stake right now. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And you guys in the clone is having identity. You know what I'm saying? Like all of it, and then I'm thinking that this is a time for Shinji to shine, right? I'm thinking like this dude's about to shine, step up, and be like, yo, Nah, F my daddy. I'm a man now. I gotta put this all on my back and watch me. Hey, Ahsoka, watch this. I'm going in. No, you hit little bitch too. I'm sorry.
He did. He ran away too.
Daddy, no. Daddy.
Yeah, let's get on to this main character. Let's get on to this main character. Character analysis, man. I was not impressed. So I put very pessimistic, daddy issues, like you said. Feels dejected and rejected by his dad and everybody. Self-deprecating and socially awkward. No redemptive qualities at all.
Bro, like if the sake of the world is in your hand and you still can't get your shit together, kill yourself. Like you are not.
No, he did the right thing the very first time was to walk away. The very first time.
I believe 3 times, right? He tried to walk away 3 times.
Mm-hmm. The very first time when they asked him to get in the suit and Ray was about to get in it, I think they should have just allowed him.
Hey, I understand the first time reason why he turned back and like, okay, I'll do it, because he saw that like, I'll do it.
But he was right not to do it though. No training.
He was.
They didn't peer him at all. There was no even subtle bit of training in his day-to-day life that they showed him to have. Really, they didn't really tell us where he came from.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. Like if the whole Earth was like halfway destroyed, where you going?
Like where was he at? They just mentioned briefly he was living with a teacher at the very end. I was like, this is the end now. Like why there was no flashback of him living with that teacher and his day-to-day life and him longing to be with his dad or none of that.
And also another thing is they kind of made it seem like he was jumping house to house too, because he was like, it's another ceiling that I'm not familiar with, right? It made me think when he said that, it's like, oh, okay, so he might have been a foster kid, jumping from house to house. I mean, the whole time he lived with a teacher? What you mean another ceiling that you're not familiar with? Like, they're just confusing.
Yeah, I didn't like. So the pessimism was understandable. They were living in a crisis. I mean, a world that could end at any time. Him always feeling like he's rejected by his dad. That's cool because his dad was like, "All right, you don't want to do what I say. Get out. I don't need you." Never once said, "I need you, son. Please help me." Not once. And then him being socially awkward. Okay, you're 14. I get it. Middle schooler. But at some point, you need to. Once you have saved the world twice, you should get some type of confidence.
That's what I'm saying, bro. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm glad you got more of a vocabulary words than me because only thing I'm thinking of, he's a bitch. That's the only thing I got. Can I cuss or no? Should I not be cussing?
I don't really be cussing, but yeah.
Alright, well, I'll put it this way. He's a little pussy. That better? Alright, so only thing I can think of is like he's a little pussy.
You can just say he's soft. I say you can just say he's soft.
Alright, okay. Let's take 3. One thing I think of is this dude's soft. He just soft, man. In my Strange voice. Soft. You soft. Stop being soft.
Right. This kid, like, for real, you saved the world and people like, oh my gosh, you're a pilot and blah, blah, blah. That shouldn't give you no type of confidence. He didn't get confidence until he was praised by Misato and his dad. That's when he got some confidence, and then he got a little arrogant. And the very next time, once he got arrogant, he got defeated badly. He got sucked into that sea and stuff.
And then he started crying again.
Yeah.
So, my thing is, though, like, watching anime, we see a lot of 13-year-olds to 12-year-olds to 15 to 16-year-olds go up against people. They get beat up and they get back up on their horse like, we go do this again. This guy is for the MC, man. He just pissed me off so much because he was just a crybaby. He didn't have that growth that we needed. And for him to get to the end with no growth, still be the same. He met somebody for a day. What day? Not even a day, a night. He spent one night. He's talking about he's my friend. I can't do it. This boy was facility killing folks that you knew for about for half a year, maybe. And you gonna sit for one night talk about something I can't. Oh my gosh, bro. Like
he made me kill somebody. That was the other person, the fourth pilot. When he's talking about my dad made me kill somebody, he was broken up. It's like, brother, you weren't in control. You did not do it. How could you not separate yourself from, like, you know what I'm talking about?
Yes. Oh, he had to kill his friend. Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't even kill him though. That person should have died. That was Toji, Suzuhara Toji.
He definitely should have been dead.
He should. A lot of them, I said they should have been dead, but it's understandable because that plug was intact. So okay, if it's intact, they can be alive. That's understandable for them to live. But his was crushed.
Man,
that's death.
Yeah, he definitely should have been dead. And also, again, for the son, he's been a pilot. Shinji's been a pilot for so long that I feel like he should have been desensitized to destruction and understand the meaning of sacrifice. Of when that thing, like before he knew it was his friend, he should have been on go. Like, oh, I gotta put this down because he's gonna destroy things. And I got people I'm trying to save. So that's why he's such an annoying character, because it's like, yo, you have multiple lives in your hand when you're behind this thing, behind this machine, this angel. Oh, sorry, they I don't know if I spoil it. They're angels. Okay, we have multiple people behind, like lives at stake that you have to do your job. You chose to get back in it, and the thing was this was so yeah, you chose to get back in this machine and fight for mankind. Well, I guess he wasn't fighting for humankind. He already said, "What am I fighting for? Fighting for approval or praise." So they all try to figure out what he's fighting for. But still, you want praise? Do your job.
Right.
Do your job.
That kid, he was not prepared though, so I give him that. He wasn't ever taught the importance of others. He was just feeling like, oh, I get approval from Masato and my dad, I'll do it. If I'm not gonna get that, if I don't feel valuable in that, I have nothing, so I won't do anything.
But they try to kill his dad because
he was annoying all the way throughout the show.
Yeah. He was annoying. He annoyed me the most out of all it. I would have to say he's one of the worst MCs I have seen.
Yep, I was upset though that they made it seem Shinji was the only one that can save him though.
They really did.
Because Asuka was way better at controlling the Eva. They even before Shinji became the one that has the most synchronization rate. Asuka had it before him. And even though he was growing at a pace that could surpass her, even when he did, he still didn't do nothing with that. That's when he got defeated right away.
He did it.
After that arrogance. No, I'm not good to my point. The point was Asuka and Rei, they had got defeated really easily by one of that one that had those sharp, long arms, that angel, that just ripped them off just easily. And that's when Shinji had turned away because he was mad that he was made to fight that other Eva pilot. And he was like, I'm never getting in. I promised myself. And then he was in the shelter. And then the head of Rei went flying in there. Or it was Asuka's head of the Eva head that she piloted. One or two. I just know they got destroyed very easily. And I was like, that's stupid. They shouldn't have did that and made it seem like Shinji's the only one because he was a little punk.
Asuka has way more. I think she was having a mental breakdown at the time.
Yeah, she was not able to move. See, then because she felt like she couldn't do nothing after her synchronization rate had fell behind Shinji, and that put her in a whole downward spiral.
That's what pissed me off. That's what
me off
about her because
that shouldn't have been a reason. That shouldn't have been a reason for her mentality to be down that much. The fact that Shinji got a higher rate than her and got praised for it. But go ahead.
But yeah, so that was definitely one of the things that kind of pissed me off about her character, her downfall, is because I feel like you was right. It's like that shouldn't have been the thing that broke her. That should not have been the thing that broke her. And she was like, why are you competing with this dude who is a baby? Like, who is a baby? And it wasn't even like, at first it felt like there was a friendly competition. They started to click a little bit more better. But now it was like she started like, I hate them all. I hate everybody. I hate everyone. I was like, yo, what the heck? Why y'all doing it? It's like this is a great character. She should have took this as a motivation to get herself stronger. But it's just like y'all want to prop this Shinji up so much, but he's such a terrible person. Like just terrible character design. Like the character development is terrible in the show. The only person who has the best character development is Masato and some of the background characters. The main ones who we're driving the focus on, they were so boring.
Mm-hmm.
And then the only character who was very like again I say Asaka, who was kind of part of the main that was there that we used to focus on the main characters is Asaka, and y'all took her and y'all was like, let's make her stupid. Like let's nerf her. Let's nerf her.
We got nerf her to make sure that Shinji gets some shine.
And Shinji still didn't get no shine.
No. That part when he was supposed to get shine was when he took when his synchronization rate went over 400%, but that caused a big issue too.
Yep.
Because all of a sudden his body wasn't there anymore, and they had to wait for 13 days before they got his body back or something like that.
A long time. But also another thing is, Shinji didn't do much really. It really was his mom who take care of him. I don't know if you want to explain that, or maybe at a later date, but yeah. But
no, we just leave it at that. We just leave it at that. People who haven't watched it, they might watch it, they might not, based off what we say, so it doesn't really matter. It's an old anime anyway. This came out in the 90s, so.
The reason why he got saved was because of his mother. His mother was saving his butt the whole time. Mm-hmm. And I ain't gonna lie, I figured out the moment where his mother was as soon as they brought her up. Before they even showed it, I was like, oh, I know where his mother went.
Yeah.
Like, she just disappeared. I was like, I know what happened to her.
Yep, I know exactly. It clicked for me because they mentioned something about it, but it didn't click to me until they said that something similar happened before in the past. And I was like, oh, so since Shinji just did that, his mom did it too. And it's the suit that he's in right now.
That's crazy that it clicked to me like when they said they was kind of being mysterious around and they was like kind of made it like, hey, they're humans. I was like, oh, so they fused the human souls. Okay, I kind of, and the same thing when they went with Ray. I was like, oh, okay, I don't understand how that happened, but
yeah.
Then I understood how it happened once they showed Shinji same thing happened to Shinji, but at first I thought they were just sacrificing people. That's what I already thought it was, but
yeah. Did you catch that Shinji became a clone?
Nope.
Yeah, so the body that they got back, that wasn't really his first body. And that's what they said. It was like with the magic, we can do that. We can create a body so we can get his soul back to come back to that.
Okay, yeah. I ain't gonna lie, guys. I think how many episodes was it? I think I
26.
checked out after episode.
It was 26.
Oh dang! I literally think I checked out after like a couple episodes. I did check out like 14-ish. And now this was on Pilot watching it.
Yeah, this show was not good to me. The theme, let's get into the show themes though, because that's what I'm pretty sure this is what everybody might have liked who liked the show. It's the themes about like how there's political conflict going on in the background and the main underlining theme as well. So the show themes that I saw was man is his worst enemy. Like constant political struggle, even with the destruction of the world on the line. They still can't seem to work together without there being some type of sabotage. Like they kept sabotaging each other. Like, what are y'all doing? That's dumb. Like when that whole but the whole plant shut down all at once, even the backup safes, the fail-safe switches and all that was shut down, and that allowed the Angel to get inside. That was dumb.
Very dumb.
Well, actually, the Angel didn't get inside, but it was close.
It was drilling. It almost got. Oh, no, it wasn't drilling. Was it drilling?
No, this was the one where it had used some type of liquid acid to dissolve everything. Yeah, so almost got inside. And that was dumb.
Very dumb. And
then there was other times they sabotaged too. Like they sent in the last Angel.
They sabotaged their group of people sabotaged the Germans. Was it German? What were they? Or was
it was China's, I believe.
Yeah, China's with the nuclear
branch.
The nuclear one. They sabotaged theirs. I'm like, why did they do that?
Yeah, the reason why the Americans had sent their Ava to Japan's branch was because I believe it was kind of alluded that the commander did something to blow up that other people's branch, and they didn't want any beef like that. They was like, we just gonna give it to y'all here.
Yep.
killed a bunch of people and killed that pilot as well.
Because he did blow up their branch because he remember she asked a question like, did you guys have anything to do with it? And they kind of like don't ask questions, you know,
right?
Don't be meddling,
right? And that was weird. So man is his worst enemy. Like, they can't do nothing. And also the other one is man wanting to be God and replace him causes their own annihilation. They wanted to be God and replace him. And that's what the whole humanitarian it was something human. The word was weird what they use in the Japanese, the English translation when I was reading the subtitles. What did they say in English, Mom? Did you watch it in English?
I watched the English, but I don't know what they
It was
said.
a project that was called like the Human Tool Project or Human Utilization Project. Man, what was that? It was a weird name for it. I can't remember. I don't feel like looking it up now, but it was dumb. The whole reason for them is just so that they can surpass God by answering those questions at the very end. You looking it up?
Yeah.
This is gonna annoy me. I'm about to look it up.
Sure, I gotta look it up. While you look that up, I was gonna say, so was Shinji gay?
He might have been.
He was blushing over.
He definitely did.
Korua.
I think it was one of those things where he just likes whoever likes him, whether it's a male or a female.
That makes sense.
Because he already was used to not being liked.
You know who I think should have been a pilot that they really just messed up with that?
Oh.
Kensuke?
The glasses dude who had a dad and works in the office too?
Yep. Perfect. Somebody should have mentally ready for that and getting ready to get in there. They were like, nope.
Instrumentality Project, that's what it's called. The Human Instrumentality Project. And they explained that at the very end, at that last episode or last two episodes or whatever. Was for them to become God using the atom, that first angel that attacked in Antarctica, or so they say. But I believe, it was dumb. That whole show, the way they explained it wasn't good. And the main underlining thing, though, was running from facing your dark side within yourself and other problems that arise because of self-hate.
I get that from the last episode they were discussing that.
Yeah.
Hey,
go ahead.
The last episode, the guys, they ran out of money. That's all I can say. They ran out of money.
Seemed that way, because there's a lot of repeated frames.
Repeated frames in pictures. Literally just pictures. I think I saw a picture of a real life dog running. What happened?
You talking about when it was flashing really fast?
Yeah.
That hurt in my head. I didn't like that.
I don't like it either.
So we talked about how bad kind of the story was and the main character. The other thing I didn't like, but I have to give it grace because it was the 90s, even though I don't remember 90s recordings being that bad, was the transitions. One, they were very flat. Like, sometimes it was so abrupt that I was like, there was no type of smooth transition to lead way into this next scene. It just abruptly ended the one scene and jumped into a whole different topic, subject, or whatever. It had nothing to do with the last couple of scenes. It's like its own little thing, and then it abruptly jumps back into what was happening before. I'm just like, okay, this is not good.
Yeah.
There was no relation from one scene to the next, or what is happening. And then, so for example, I believe there was one scene, I can't think of a scene specifically actually, but I just remember having that feeling. And then also, sometimes the recording, the voices, and I watched this in the Japanese recordings, I heard like this, I could tell it was a microphone. I just put it that way. It didn't seem like it was coming from that environment of the anime like most animes do. Even in the 90s, I don't remember that.
You're
yes. And a lot of when they was talking, a lot of snacking, like they needed some water. And it wasn't matching, like, because one person will talk, right? And it matched the environment they were in, and then the next person will talk, and it was completely different. I was like, oh, they're supposed to be in the same room, but it does not sound like it. This is bad.
Yeah. My problem was with the animation. There's a lot of moments where they did repeat the frame, but also they use still, like they just stay still, and there was just one like picture. And this gets towards the end, like it's like the
I
last
remember that.
5 episodes.
I remember that.
And it was just, I was like, yo, it's not interesting already, but now you're not even animating now? Like, yo, what is this?
Yeah, there was a moment where I skipped 10 seconds ahead, and it's after waiting about already 10 seconds, maybe longer, maybe about 15 seconds of a still frame of Shinji looking at that last angel dude.
That pissed me the fudge off.
They just looking at each other in silence. And I waited for a 15 seconds, like, they're not going to say nothing. I skipped ahead 10 seconds, and it still was the exact same thing. And I waited another 5 seconds before it moved on. They started talking. I was like, what is this?
That's what I'm saying. That was terrible. That was so terrible.
And they kept doing that same when they was like, Shinji, do you blah, 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 blah. The girls, all three of them, Masato, Asuka, and Rei. And they was like nude and stuff and talking about some, do you want me? Do you want to be one with me? They did that like 18 times.
That's what I'm saying.
With the same frame. I was like, I see what Maul was saying about them running out of the budget. But I don't know if they ran out. I think they did that on purpose to save time.
They were not saving time.
I'm talking about saving time of work time that they had to do.
Oh, yeah.
Not for the anime. I'm talking about work time that they had to do.
Like, I will shut that studio down after this one. I'll tell you. But you don't get another chance after this.
And it's possible it's the same thing, though. They could have run out of budget, so they're like, I'm not going to waste no more time trying to make this look good with the rest of the budget we have. Mm-hmm. We're just trying to end it.
It's not a good show. It was like, bro, like, also, that was my thing about really that kind of killed the show for me was the MC being trash, and then the still frame that they repeated over and over. And then also, like, there's a game that I have, right? It's called Hell's Gate or something like that. And one thing I don't like is when things are repeated, or like things are like kind of like this repeated, but like kind of want to scramble your brain a little bit. Too much flashing images, like just like kind of like disorienting you. What is the word, James?
Disorient.
Disorient. I can't say it. And those things very annoy me. That's something that's very annoying. It's when it wasn't done in a correct way. Like, I mean, it did disorient me, but it wasn't in a way of entertainment. It was in a way of annoyance. Like,
yeah. It just wasn't put together well.
It was
because it like you said the premise they had was good. You told me that personally. But yeah, the premise they had was good because they're 14 years old and it's already been 15 years since First Impact. They definitely should have grown up in a harsher environment.
Yes, and with that survival mode, like, I mean, this world is in survival mode, so Rei is different because she stayed inside of whatchamacallit. But since for them all that go through certain things, like, yo, survival mode, stingy. I don't like my dad, but I'm in it now. Mm-hmm. Survival mode. I gotta survive. How do I survive? But it's just like, what? And that's what Kensu was. He was. What his name is? Kensu. What his name is?
I didn't write his name down, so I don't know.
It's Kensuke.
Kensuka?
Kensuka. Yeah. I'm gonna call him Ken. Yeah. He legit was in survival mode. Like, yeah, he's like, yo, like this world can end at any moment. I'm ready to, like, I gotta get ready. But I think he would still have a psych out moment. But since he already went through a battle, he went through a battle too and survived. So it was like, this dude's like, hey, put me behind him.
Especially if he was already qualified. So let's get back to that now. We mentioned earlier how they had fine pilots at convenient times, and that was a question that came up. They was like, how were we able to find this pilot number 4 so convenient? And also in this class, and they was like, everybody in that class has the potential to be able to operate one of the Avas. Like, it was on purpose. And it was like, what? Like, they're going to school normally. There's no type of training or anything. So how was that a thing?
Right.
So dumb. They're in the post-apocalyptic type world, or threatened to be apocalyptic world. They're threatened with the apocalypse at any moment. And they're not training these children if they're the only ones who can pilot. And they're talking about them, all that you have to put our faith in the 14-year-old, but you're not training them to be able to bear that weight. That doesn't make sense.
Stupid. They don't attack Titan stuff at all.
No, not at all. I was like, that doesn't make type of sense. If you know that they are your hope, why aren't you training them to be that? So they can have a mentality so that they don't end up like Shinji or Asuka breaking down off a little bitty inconvenience.
But the thing about it is, it seems like you have to have childhood trauma that's not able to become overcome so easily to pilot. If you don't, you can't pilot.
Nah, they still didn't really say what the qualifications were.
I know, but I'm saying it seems like
Yeah, it seemed like it. I couldn't gather what was qualifications, except that they chose you, you do it. And if you can, because Ray was never able to really sync with hers that well, but it still worked.
There was no qualifications, bro. But also, another thing is, the Angels only attacked one city, same city over and over and over, and they were trying to get down to the. It's like they're not the only one making Avas. So why are you guys the only why y'all always being attacked? They ain't attacking somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
And then again, they also had an OP weapon. And they decided they had an OP weapon that they could have brought out anytime and slayed any angel.
Yep.
Anytime. They wasted it and threw it in. Like, I was like, yo.
Into the moon. I mean, into the space. Yep.
Oh my goodness. It had no way to retrieve it. Like, they didn't think about. I was like, yo. This show is all over the place.
That goes to the explanation of what the angels were, though. I think they were basically the creations of the man.
Yeah.
Whatever that first Lilith, whatever that had failed, because the last angel was explaining everything, but I couldn't really follow what he was saying completely. But what I gathered was Lilith, who was, because this has a lot of biblical themes, this show, like Adam, angels. They mentioned God multiple times. They mentioned Eve. They mentioned Lilith. And Lilith is not really part of the Bible. I think that they mentioned the Dead Scrolls. Because Lilith is, I don't really know where Lilith came from, Maul. Where the origination of that is. I didn't really look it up. But I think it's one of those scriptures that it's trying to become part of scriptures, but it's not accepted. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Like somebody made something up and it was like, these are part of the scriptures, but it's not. And Lilith is supposed to be the other, was made before Eve with Adam. But Lilith sinned and got kicked out of the garden by herself before Eve came along.
This is what they said. They said that Lilith she would not obey Adam.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing about it, like you guys you realize that that sin wasn't that wasn't a thing until they ate the fruit, right? So you saying that like, oh, she wouldn't obey Adam, so she got kicked out and God made her. I was like, no, because when she came and all she knew was Adam and God, and Satan didn't tempt her at all. So like that, your story does not make sense. That was just always stupid to me. Like yeah, Lilith was before Eve. Like that does not make sense. Think about it.
Right.
How was the fall of man? Stop.
Yeah, but anyways, yeah. So Lilith is supposed to be he says something about his man's way to fight against God or something. I don't remember. Opposing God. I can't remember exactly what he said. It was dumb. That's why I didn't keep it in my head. It did. It did not compute for it to make sense. So he was talking, and basically I got though that Lilith created some things to destroy man or be God for man, whatever. And man took those things and created their own disaster, own destruction.
It was such a boring show, bro. Like I honestly, I lost half of the meaning of the show, and one thing I got from it was they woke something up in Alaska, and it came and destroyed them. That's what I got. And then
you mean in Antarctica?
Like, okay, so
it was in Antarctica.
Then they have like some type of witch that was telling the future or something. Like they was like he predicted me back in 15 years.
No, it was the Dead Sea Scrolls. That's what we get our scriptures from. Those scrolls. That's where the Bible is. Most of the books from the Bible is put together, especially the Old Testament, from the Dead Sea Scrolls.
Okay.
So they're saying the prophets predicted this.
Okay. All I know is that, according to the show, the humanity should never survive because we had only it's in Korea, right? It's
Japan.
Japan. So in Japan, we had to rely on 14-year-olds with bad mental issues and daddy issues, and so we should have been dead. We shouldn't be here.
Yeah, they were mentally unstable to be able to hold that much weight and power in their hand.
With no training.
Zero training. except Asuka. She's the only one that had training.
Yes.
We'll assume that Ray had training, but every time I saw her by herself in the facility, she was in some type of glass juice thing. You know what I'm talking about? In some type of chamber, like the chamber from Dragon Ball Z, that heal their bodies.
And also, James, I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, they had all this money. They had thinking about getting these kids some mental like a psychic,
right?
Not psychic, but a
therapist.
Yeah, therapist. Thank you. They didn't think about getting these kids a therapist.
Mm-hmm.
They out there fighting with their life on the line. You better get these therapeutic stuff.
Yeah, they need. But in the '90s, mental health wasn't a thing.
Oh yeah.
If that show was redone, it would be a lot better, and they would have therapy.
I think, like, again, only thing that can make what can really make the show go a lot better, first of all, is fleshing out the whole storyline a lot better, and push it over more than over one season. Like, and also,
I think there might have been some more Neon Genesis that came out over the years.
Nope, it's just one. It's only one. It's only one season.
No, I'm not talking about. I think it was like different shows. They might got different titles. I believe that.
Nope,
maybe
it's
not.
Just Neon Genesis. That's all it is.
Evangelion. That's it.
Yep.
I thought there was more.
Nope, but they just been riding on. What happened was they did redo it. They did redo it. They modernized it. They modernized it a little bit, but yep, the only character that's been like the most person that we keep seeing is what's her face?
Asuka.
Yep, Asuka. He's a face runner of it.
Cool.
But they redid it. But I'll say if they really do want to rewrite this story, make it 2 seasons, and also flesh out the idea a lot, make it more easier for us to understand, and make the show a little bit more heavy around the fight scenes of the robot, like the Gundam fights and stuff like that. And there's just so much unleft unleft tact. Like who killed, who assassinated the what's his name?
Kaji or something like that.
Kaji. Yep, who assassinated Kaji? We're still interested in that. What was causing what is called the robot? What's the robot called?
Avas.
What was causing the Avas to
go bug wild?
Yep, go wild. And let's see the MC become more of a reliable character that we can rely on, or kill him off. Kill him off. Like kill him off. Kill him off.
Yeah, honestly, Ray was a more interesting main character than Shinji. And I said Ray was a more interesting character than Shinji, and she had no personality.
Yes, that is crazy. That's weird. She had no personality. That's crazy. She was. That's crazy, man. And give Masoda her own arc. Let's give her own arc. Let's do that. Let's go ahead and give that.
Turned into a romance. That was a good K-drama moment she had with Kaji. I was digging it.
Too.
He was trash. Kaji was trash.
Yep.
That dude was not a good person. Not a good man at all. He was a player. He was an F-boy.
He was. But Gendo, Shinji's dad.
He was an F-boy too. Mm-hmm. And
he
mean.
was an F-boy too, but he must be putting it down because
had to.
He got the mom and daughter.
Devoted.
Yes, he must be putting it down, man.
But once he had sold her out, though, she was done with him. Kagi, she was like, "Oh, all right, you chose her over me, bet." Destroyed all of them.
I was like, dang.
Yeah. So that's the show. I'll give it a let's see, out of 5, probably a 2.
I give it a 1.5.
I give it a 2 because of what they were trying to say. I can dig it, like identity and all that. That would take to the Kingdom Link. But why would you give it a 1.5?
I give it a 1.5 because the main antagonist, the main seed, did not carry the show, and there was nobody else to really step in and continue to push the storyline on. So I will give it a 0, but I'll give it 1.5 because I definitely still see the potential in I see potential into this, that it could be really interesting. But I don't think the writing was good. I don't think the animation was good. And I'm not saying because it's the 99 way to look. It's just before because the budget ran out. And I don't agree how it ended, and it was so confusing at times. And sometimes the pictures and stuff like that took away from the stories because, like, you paid attention. I was listening in English, still getting distracted by what are you saying? Hey, so the way the voice acting is going, and it's just like, y'all, it's in English, but it's such a hard thing to listen to, hard thing to focus in on. Like
it wasn't Japanese too.
It's like, yo, like, so it, like the story got lost. To me, it got lost. But I'm like, yo, this is still an interesting concept.
Yeah, but getting to the kingdom link of that's the reason why I give it a 2. That was this one redemption thing for me, is their message they were trying to get across. It's just that I didn't agree with how they were trying to answer that question. I was like, yeah, that's not, because it doesn't match with the kingdom, but those questions are in the kingdom. You, as a kingdom citizen, as a believer of God, and as a human being, period, in this world, you have to answer these questions. And so the questions of identity, and that is, who am I? Where am I from? Why am I here? What can I do? And where am I going? And the very last episode was asking all those questions and trying to answer it. The conclusion for them was, I am me. That's who I am. I'm just me. And I have to, for me to discover who I am, I have to have relationships with other people and base myself on how different I am from others and accept it. But the only way I can see me is if I can see others. And like, that's just like half the truth, because you can see others, but at the same time, okay, where did everybody come from? Like, where's your roots at? And exactly, I know we're all different and unique, and that's how we can tell our shape and all that and have that, but what can you do? Just not comparatively to somebody else, but like, what is it that only you can do?
James, I ain't gonna lie, I didn't get that from that last episode. All I got was, who am I? What would I be? What should I do? I don't know.
Yeah, because he was saying, like, the only reason why he's alive, the only reason, he's like, I don't feel any value. I'm not valuable. The only value I get is when I am piloting the Ava. I was nothing before that, and I'll be nothing without it. And then Masato was saying to him, like, well, you, like, that's not all who you are. Like, you can't do that beside it. And then Asuka was like, yeah, if that's the only thing that you feel that you makes you'll become like me and feel worthless when you can't do that anymore. It's like your value. I was like, then he was like, I'm useless. Nobody likes me. He's like, there you go again, saying no one likes you. That's just what you say yourself. That's what you tell yourself to protect yourself.
I remember that. Actually, I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing about it was done in such a terrible way.
Yeah.
Dude, it's like the scenery, like it was such a. It was like in a floating world, whiteness, and it was done in such a bland, boring way that I do remember the scene, but I was just like, yo, what? Like, I just want this to get over with.
So,
dang, man,
so that whole part was very interesting, but it was so out of place.
Very.
Because it did not seem like that had anything to do with the show.
That's what I was doing. I was watching that, as I was watching that,
yeah.
I was like, what happened to the robot?
Yeah, exactly. It seemed like this was something that was supposed to be, that should have been something after everything was concluded. Everything was not concluded. They just destroyed the last angel. All of a sudden, that's supposed to conclude everything? No. We need to figure out who are these voices behind Seal who decided that they were going to send this person inside to destroy everything. Like, who are them? What consequences are they going to have? Are they going to get demoted from their positions in government or whatever? None of that happened.
On top of that, I'm like, this is the last angel, right? This got to be the last angel. A man created this last angel. So, are they really done?
Exactly.
Or is it going to be another second wave, a third wave of angels?
Because they always attacked in ones. It was never a group.
Exactly. So that episode really was a real episode, but I feel like they was trying to get get them all to come to a conclusion with themselves, right? To that wrestle that they had on the inside, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then again, it was done in such a cringy way, and it was so terrible, and boring, and bland. Again, like you said, it was at the wrong time. Like, they try to get them all to come together. It was like, no, man, we need to see this like in a flashback or something like that, and coming through, coming to grips with each other, come like wrestling a little bit, and not in a sense of them repeating the same thing over and over for 30 seconds of the show. No, this is an anime. Keep the thing moving. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Like 30 seconds.
Yeah, but
I can't do it. I can't do it. No.
Right. Yeah, but the fact that those questions were being proposed is, I can commend them for that, because not a lot of anime does that. And they don't even attempt it. And I probably because they saw Neon Genesis try to do it, they was like, this fails, nobody. But it's pretty successful though. For some reason, it seems popular. I don't know if it was successful back then. It didn't get on Toonami, I don't think. I don't remember seeing it ever on Toonami.
I definitely can see the appeal. I can see the appeal, especially to like little like the weirdo community.
Yeah.
I can see the appeal.
Yeah, but to answer these questions though is something that as a believer you must answer, because you just can't be saying you're a believer of God and Jesus and follower of him and not answer these questions, because there's going to be a point in your life, in your walk with Christ, where you're going to be wrestling with your identity and what you believe. And if you don't have these answered, it's very easy to fall off.
Yeah.
It's very easy. So who am I? Like who are you? Like I always have my I am statements that help me like really keep my identity, especially when things are not going my way.
Amen.
Or people are not looking at me, or if I start to believe people are perceiving me a certain way, I gotta remind myself like, oh, nope, that's just me trying to tell a story so I can be protected or whatever. Like, who am I? Okay, I am powerful, I'm confident, I'm loving, I'm friendly, and the main identity piece is I'm a child of God, of the Most High God. And so many other things, but also I'm a teacher who brings peace. And so where am I from? I'm from heaven. Like in the Bible it says that God knew us before we were in our mother's womb, and he knitted us and stitched us in there, so we're from heaven.
Yep.
And why am I here? The purpose I'm here for, I know exactly what my purpose is. But mainly God created all of man to give him glory and praise him and to be his representatives here on earth and rule as he does in heaven. So that's why I'm here, to rule in my dominion on earth like God does in heaven. And what can I do? I can teach, I can write. I don't really like writing though. Mainly I can teach. I can teach this word, and I can keep my peace in chaotic situations. That's what I can do. I can do so much more too. But those are things I focus on closely to my identity.
Yeah.
And where am I going? Going back to Christ when I get done. But on earth where I'm going very within this city. I'm going to the top of influence.
I got some of those answers. Like the last one, where am I going? Wherever God takes me.
Yep.
Let's go. I'm going up. Going up.
Yeah, but how they were talking though, I was like, I understand there's a lot of things that we can't do without human relationships, because like you are the 5 people that you spend the most time with. That's who you are. Most people you spend time with, and that's how your life moves as fast as your relationships are. Because a lot of things we do is connected to other people. We can't do nothing without another person, to be honest. But at the same time, you really can't do much when you are moving outside of the will of God. You can accomplish a lot, but that will all be for nothing. You won't have that fruit that you actually wanted.
Yep.
Yeah, so them having that self-hate and all that, yep, they all admitted that they hated themselves, every single one of them. Did you notice that?
Yes.
I was like, yeah, this is the main cause that people go to war over, because they self-hate and they look at another person like, since I hate myself, they probably hate me, so I hate them.
Oh my goodness, I know that feeling.
Yep. So now I gotta sabotage everything they do, because they can harm me at some point, so I gotta get them before they get me.
Yeah.
At some point they're gonna turn after we get done with these angels, at some point they're gonna turn those weapons against us. So we have to take control some way.
That was a question too. Like what happened when we were done with the angels?
Mm-hmm. And we saw what happened was they just try to melt their hearts together and come to one understanding of it's okay to be me, and I can accept myself or learn to like myself at some point. It's going to be hard, but I can do it while exploring my relationships with others.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Such a show with good potential. I do think they could have did that. What you said, that whole teaching themselves who the word. I mean, like they're not gonna put the Bible in it. They should. They
talked about the Dead Sea Scrolls, so that's the Bible.
I know. I was gonna say they do got the biblical aspect in it, but I don't think that they take it seriously. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they didn't see it as a guiding post, and you should live that way. They see it as all these things are going to happen, so we need to prepare
Yep.
in our own strength.
Yep. Hey, amen to that though, bro. Amen to your Bible. I mean, your biblical outlook on life, and just keep bringing it into that. I love it. I love it.
That's a Kingdom Link.
Love it.
Questions of identity. And I encourage all the listeners, if you don't know the answers to that, again, they are: who am I? Where am I from? Why am I here? What can I do? Where am I going? Like, and you can honestly wrestle with these questions your entire life, because they can change. Especially the what can you do and where you're going and stuff, those can change.
Fast. Especially going through people, relationships, they have somebody they're attached to, and then that person decides they want to get off the ride. Losing a child, losing a limb, they all can switch up real fast on you. Like, who am I now? Like, who am I without basketball?
Right.
So, but I do encourage like that, like to make sure that like James is saying, is that key identity should be rooted in Christ though. Like, if you have that, who am I? Your first identity should always be rooted in Christ, and then from that root grow other identities. Have branches. If a branch fall off, you're still rooted in Christ. You're like, okay, I'm good. God still got me. So where I'm going now?
Exactly. Yep. So now the last segment, Mo.
The last segment.
I got the segment called Now You Know Damn Well. So in the segment, I'm going to ask you a question. It's either going to be a really hard question that I know damn well you don't know, or a really easy question that I know damn well you do know.
Okay.
That's why, like, you know damn well. Because people could say that, like, you ask them something, you're like, hey, now you know damn well. Like, either I know it or you don't know it.
Yeah.
So here's one that I know damn well you don't know.
Okay.
Are you ready?
No.
All right. So what year were the following words first used in print? The words are addicted, boxer, classical, famously, honeymoon, and perfume.
What you said was the first time it was used in print? What
Yep,
year?
the first time they were used in print. What year?
1816.
1860? Nope. All right, now I'm going to give you multiple choice. You ready?
All right.
All right.
Yep.
So is it A, 1779, B, 1496, C, 1657, or D, 1546?
You said printed, not written, though, right?
That means like it was in the newspaper or something, or in some type of essay or whatever. So it is written.
Okay. Well, I will go with. I don't remember the numbers, so I'm gonna go with C.
C, 1657,
Yes.
and it was 1546.
Was it D? Dang it! I was close though.
There were more words that were first used in print during that year too that we are all familiar with. I was like, what? I would think those came a little later. Not in the 1500s.
That's crazy.
Boxer, Maul. Boxer was used in the 1500s.
It's really nothing new under the sun. We think we come up with new things. It's just that we forget. Then we try to re-rotate it in society again.
Classical was perfume, honeymoon, famously, and addicted. I'm like, what? Really? This was all before the Civil War. Not Civil War, but the independence. Civil War too, but before this country was a country.
Dang. Man.
Yeah, put it in perspective.
We are not original. We just got technology now. That's all it is.
That is. Nothing new under the sun. We be thinking we're so brilliant and everything's new. That's why when people were talking about, during COVID, like, this is the worst thing ever this earth has ever faced. It's like, you realize that there was a whole plague that killed multiple people. There was other things too. Like, this is just the worst thing in our lifetime.
Right. I was thinking the exact same thing. I was like, no, there's things that shut down cities that are like, not like this. I'm like, I'm pretty sure war is done. Like,
yeah.
I'm pretty sure war does.
Man, that's why we are doomed to repeat history, because men forget so easily.
Oh man, we do.
And they just ignore history altogether. It's so dumb.
Man, I will say, James. Yeah, okay. What's the other question that I know? Like, what would I will know? What would I know?
I didn't have another question, but okay.
Wait, you have another question? You won't give me a hard question, not give me an easy one?
Yeah,
that's fine.
The easy one will be if I decide to do it next time.
Okay, that makes sense. I figured. You never have me looking stupid on here.
All right, you want a question that I know you know?
Because then I might get it wrong.
Okay, what is the capital of Nebraska?
See, this is what I mean, dude. Is it London?
Of Nebraska.
Is it London Tipton?
Oh my goodness,
Give me a hint.
It begins with an L.
I'm playing. This is Lincoln.
Yeah, I know. I know you know
It's
it.
Lincoln.
You had to know that. There ain't no way.
You know damn well.
Uh-huh.
It ain't London. What you mean?
Like
That
being
was the first
dumb.
time. That was the first time people say that. Now you know damn well it ain't Lincoln.
Uh-huh.
I mean, that's not Lincoln, but
Yep. See, some people might not know that. All right, but yeah, that's the end of NAAP. And so, Maul,
yeah.
when we sign out, I go TWMA, and then Lewis goes GB, and that comes from the sign off for Out of the Box.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my.
You remember Out of the Box?
Y'all some losers. Y'all lame. Hey, I want to say this before we go. Before I say that segment, Lewis, you should have been here. This is for you, Lewis. You should have been here so you can explain yourself why you thought this was a good. You gotta explain yourself because this was doo-doo water. My stomach hurt so much after watching that show. I had to come on here and give it to you, man. Like you did not. Yeah, Lewis, you should have been here to try to defend this trash because this was next level trash anime.
It wasn't put together well.
It was not.
Especially the ending. Those repeated scenes and frames. Oh. Unnecessary.
Very.
Unnecessary. And I watch One Piece because One Piece sometimes have those repeated frames. And that's not as bad. They're not even repeated frames. They just dragged out.
They are. And that was actually, I think that's kind of style of the 90s one because the newer anime don't really have too many dragged out frames.
Mm-hmm.
Move a little bit faster. What they do have though in the new anime that I really don't like too much is a lot of blurry animations. And they have a lot of that blurry stuff and the faces all distorted.
Mm-hmm. That's because they spend so much on the animation. They have to cut corners. They're just like, all right, this frame is gonna be blurred out. We ain't gonna do too much details here.
I don't really like that too much, but it's better than me looking at a still frame and then repeat the same thing over and over. Okay, I'll take that over this. They did that right. But what we say now? You say GB and I say
no. I'll say TWMA till we meet again. So I'll just say TWMA and then GB.
Okay,
TWMA.
GB.
All right.